So, to recap, part 1 is about letting go of the I, the mind. The I would be the self, the mind would be the craving, the wanting. Okay? Until you can get this part done, the Mettā can't come out spontaneously. But the moment you can get this part done, every time you put the self aside, you can smile. Every time you let your responsibility down, you can smile. Every time you say, it's okay, I don't need this, you can smile. That's Mettā. That's the beginning of it. And that's what you need to recognize. When you give, when you don't hold on to something, how do you feel? That's a question. That's not a rhetorical question. When you don't hold on to something, right? When you forgive, let's say you have a quarrel, okay? You feel that someone has done you wrong. And you, for whatever reason that day, good day. The sun rose in the east, the feng shui was just right, your mind is in a giving state. At that moment, when you say, it's okay, I let it go. How does that make you feel? Exactly. Happy. You were skillful. You let go. At that point, if you look at your mind, you would see the budding Mettā. At that point, when you look at your mind, right, that's the budding Mettā. That's the energy you want. That's the giving you want. You understand? At the point when you say, it's okay, I forgive, I let go. At the point, this one also works. At the point where you look at the Buddha and you feel the joy that arises, the gratitude that comes out, those are gratitude. The gratitude comes on with a very strong, good feeling. Yes, when you look at the Buddha Rupa, it's a very strong, good feeling. At that point, would you say, honestly, that you wish everyone in the world would share this joy with you? Yes? What do you think that was? Mettā. That's Mettā. And that's how it is possible to do this part. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Because you feel so happy, when you bow in gratitude to the Buddha, the joy that comes up in you, that joy is Mettā. And you wish everyone else to share that joy. Do you wish it like that? Let me ask you. You can answer however you like. But would you share it like that? I wish everyone can share my joy, but except my enemy Joe and that bad enemy, my bad neighbor Lynn. They all cannot share this Mettā. You won't, right? Even at that moment, overjoyed, Joy and Lynn also can. They all can share my Mettā. Yes? How come like that? Because the joy is overwhelming. Okay? Because that joy is overwhelming. And because it's so strong a good feeling, the moment you say, if you were to say, except Lin and Jack and Kai, that's it, die. Your Mettā, right? Instead, what is left behind is, what was that? There was a moment back there when I felt good. But now I don't feel good anymore. Because you had discriminatory mind. The I came in, the unforgiving come in, the cannot let go come in. What? Mettā. Gone already. 今天不回家. It's all gone already. Whereas, if you can just look at that joy and say, everyone share. Everyone share. Why is it that when you say everyone share, it grows? Because when you say, I'm prepared to share with everybody, no restraint, that's giving. Giving turns on the energy of joy. So the more you give, the more the joy explodes. That's how it goes. This is condition. I kept saying conditionality, right? Condition. This is how the energy grows. So if you are able to feel the joy, and then you don't have too many words, cannot have so many words. In fact, you don't even have to have it in English. And you don't have to have the long, proper grammatically correct sentence. You don't need that. Y'all take. I also can. I kid you not. I give, take, whatever. My joy to share. No proper sentence, no grammar, no nothing. You can even say it Hokkien. Whatever you like. And it will just grow. Because the moment you try to think, right? Okay, what did the Buddha say? May all beings being well and happy. I've finished with it, gone, right? Stress. Stress, not mettā, okay? So, over here, you don't have to memorize the words. Here, the Buddha was just making the point that you are not being discriminatory. You don't discriminate. Whether I can see you or not, whether you were born or are to be born, that means you're still in the womb, whether you are big, small, tall, short, your gross size, irrelevant. So whether you are gross, you're material, you're immaterial, it doesn't matter. As long as there is life force, I hope you will share my joy. Actually, that's the way you should do it. I am feeling so joyous. I wish the whole world can share this joy. And then you just blow in all. You don't hold it. You essentially just let it be and let it spin by itself. It will grow by itself. And it will spin. It literally will spin by itself. But if you have pain in your heart, not physical pain, not cardiac problem, emotional angst, if you have emotional angst, then you need to put down the angst first. Okay? You can't go and try and do mettā meditation. You can't.
Emotional angst.
You can't do mettā meditation. You can't do mettā meditation. Feeling burdened. My paper hasn't passed up yet. Feeling stressed. I promised this person I haven't delivered. Or my wife expects me to be back by 10 o'clock. How to sit and meditate? How to mettā? Siao, we're a bit problematic. So today you don't do mettā. Today you do 32 parts. You see what I'm saying? And some people, when they are meditator, and they are not doing it correctly, or they are very perplexed, they really want to see Dhamma, but they can't really see Dhamma, so they get very perplexed, right? So they go for a retreat. They try to do mettā, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. The reason being that they're so perplexed. So all this energy of perplexity, craving, wanting, anger, restlessness, all these energies will jam the mettā. Okay? Then how then do you bring it up? Apart from the way that the Buddha explained it, you got to let the self go, you got to let the wanting go. For some people with a lot of faith, every time they bow before the Buddha, suddenly mettā comes out big time. A lot of faith, a lot of gratitude, a lot of joy. Dhamma joy. When you experience Dhamma joy, when you feel very good, when you're going home tonight, you mettā all over, practice. Because when you feel joy, it's when you can give. Anybody asks for any favor of you, when you are feeling in a good mood, you give, right? Daddy, can I borrow your car? Take. Daddy, your car kena whack. Never mind. Mettā. It's like that, okay? And so the whole entire stanza section there deals with put it in all directions, share it with everyone. No restraint, no definition. And then no names. Notice, it doesn't say John, Mary, and whatever. There's no, and Kai. There's no name here. It has only form. Gross, big, small, because you know why no names? Here there's no, may I be well and happy? May you be well and happy? May my best friend here be well and happy? It doesn't have that. Why is that not there? Because when your mind talks too much, the joy dissipates. So you cannot talk. You are supposed to concentrate on the joy. You feel it, you just say, I hope everyone experiences this joy. May they all one day see Dhamma. Wow, the joy will blow, okay? The kindness, the giving, the friendliness, the sharing will blow. It will grow. And there are no words there. And then it goes on. It is a way of explaining what this feeling is. It is selfless. It is selfless. Boundless heart, like a mother would do some sacrifices for their children. It's a way of explaining to the monk what it feels like. It is a selfless giving. There is no holding back. So for yourself, if you are practicing Mettā for the first time and you want to deepen your feel of it, just read it once. Just read it through once. Have an impression of the selflessness involved, and then you can go. No need to, as you sit, right, keep thinking about, oh, I'm like a mother that gives love. Cannot like you and the father, they got problem. It's not. It is just a description of a selfless giving. That's all. And for you to bear that in mind. And when you cultivate it, the Buddha explaining to the people, to the monk, all around, unobstructed, no hatred, no resentment, keeping it pure. So because when you sit, right, sometimes after a while the energy kind of dissipate a bit, assuming that you can raise it and bring it up. Sometimes the energy can dissipate. So see whether you can continue to be selfless lah. Selfless, giving, sharing, no anger, no hatred, reminding yourself it's okay, let go, let be. Okay? And look at the last two stanzas. How to do it. Whether you are standing, walking, sitting, lying down, whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness. Mettā mindfulness. Okay? This is called divinely dwelling here. Meaning to say, if you develop the Mettā until it is so much a part of your instinct, so much a part of your instinct, that even when you are going about your normal day activities, daily life, the sense of that quiet joy, the sense of the giving, no holding, friendliness, comes on spontaneously. And you are aware of it. You have to be aware of it. Don't grin at the world and not know what you're doing. When you are happy, when you are feeling good, and in your mind you say, I'm feeling Mettā, I will share. Okay? You must be mindful of what you are doing. You know you're doing it. You know you are sharing Mettā. Share. Give. Be friendly. And you are aware of it. Daily activities. Some of you will find it easy. Some of you will find it very difficult. The ones who find it easy tend to be the ones who have less burden. It's what you would call in the Cantonese phrase, "Thiên tịt lọt lệ tông pei kam." Exactly. With that kind of attitude and instinct and mindset, right, then Mettā comes a lot easier. Then for the ones who spend their life worrying about people, caring for people, worrying about themselves, being caught up in themselves, being very filled with angst and responsibility, I'm so important, you know. Then the Mettā is not instinctive. It doesn't come on strong. And when it doesn't come on, ask you to go and be mindful in daily activities of that, mindful of Mettā in daily activities. Why? You haven't even got to the first level, which is know what's Mettā. So here, in this stanza, he's describing people who already know what's Mettā. And he's telling them, now that you know, now that you are familiar with it, then in your daily routine life, be mindful of it. Be mindful of it and just let it out. And observe the energy, that's all. It's not for you to, Merry Christmas, Mettā. Happy New Year, Mettā. It's not that. It's just be mindful of the energy and then let it out. Let it be. And be aware of it. Why do you want to be aware of it? Because when your mind dwells in Mettā, it's a concentrated mind. Okay? Remember what I said in the past? Subsequently, we'll go into that at a bit more length. When your mind is happy, it's peaceful, it can concentrate. When it can concentrate in that very quiet way, it can see Dhamma. That is why Mettā is so powerful as a tool. Because when you have Mettā, it's a lot of joy. And imagine the whole day walking around with the joy that lodged in you. So you're very quiet, you're very mindful, you're very aware, you're just very happy. Try not to grin too much, okay? And in that joy, the mind is concentrated, Dhamma is everywhere. Literally, Dhamma is everywhere. Divinely dwelling here. Okay? And because you are filled with that joy, filled with the quiet, the mind that is concentrated and calm, you go on to the next few lines. This is Nibbana. The streams and all, okay? Not falling into erroneous views, it merely means that you are now seeing Dhamma properly. Four Noble Truths, see the Four Noble Truths properly. Understanding how the Eightfold Path is to be walked, practiced, weaved into daily life. Understanding that, knowing how it's done. Looking around and all you see is anicca, impermanence. You can feel, know, any form of clinging is going to bring dukkha. And you know that all these are driving by itself in an ecosystem of mind and form by itself. You're aware. All these which I keep repeating again and again is it, this is Dhamma. All these conditions are Dhamma, part of the Dhamma understanding. So thus not falling into erroneous view is seeing Dhamma in daily life as it is. And your mind constantly is aware of Dhamma. It's the way things are. It's the way things are. You accept it, you embrace it. And because there is wisdom, right? The first line is wisdom, panya. There is then the practice. If you have wisdom, you must have practice. There is no such thing as saying, I have wisdom, but my practice is a bit singit. Cannot. Then your wisdom is also singit. Okay, singit means a bit crooked, right? Crooked. No wisdom. Because having wisdom means, first and foremost, basic one, you understand karma. You know karma. You know how, if you constantly give in to anger, your mind will be very disturbed, it will be very restless. It will not be able to stabilize. You know that. So how? Your conduct, you still want to go and whack people. No lah, you try to hold back lor. Try to control yourself lor. Restrain a bit lah. You try to do a bit of these things lah. So the conduct usually will run alongside the wisdom. The wiser you are, the better your behavior, your conduct will be. If your conduct runs ahead of wisdom, it's one of two things. If the conduct runs ahead of wisdom, it's one of two things. You 骗家 one, or you 硬硬来, but you don't know what's going on. 骗家 means I show the world that I am a good person. That's all. But there is no substance in the practice. You 硬硬来 means Buddha say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 2 to 7. I will do all 2 to 7. I have no idea what I'm doing, I'll just do. Because Buddha say must do. I will do. I'll do and do and do and do. But there's no wisdom in it. Also possible. So that's conduct running ahead of wisdom. And what will happen? First and foremost, this person is likely to end up being somewhat self-righteous. I can do all these things. You can or not. I got 2 to 7 eh. You 2 to 8, then you beat me. You 2 to 6, not good enough. Very self-righteous about it. Because he had no idea what he was doing. And can go very wrong. Meaning because I don't understand, I give my own meaning to why I'm doing things. Can go very wrong. So I always say, you want to be righteous, got to understand the principle of things. And then you do it from there. The wisdom must run ahead of the conduct. And then the thing will chase up. It's natural. There is wisdom, the conduct will chase up. Okay? Endowed with vision, this vision is the vision of the practitioner. Not seeing things, not psychic power vision. This is the vision where, when you understand anicca, impermanence, it is not just a conceptual knowledge. It is seeing impermanence in the mind. Example, one moment I'm angry, the intensity of that sensation goes up. Next moment, I am not angry. For whatever reason, it plateaued off and then it comes down, it de-escalates. If I watch it very closely, I can actually see the moment-to-moment intensifying and the moment-to-moment de-escalating. The sharper you are at seeing this, the more resolution per moment. So when you set off, it's just like that, up, down. But if you keep observing the sensation, you realize that the sensation actually feels like dots, for instance. Dots, sensations. Something very practical. You all sit. Tonight, don't move your leg, okay? Just sit like that. At some point, your leg goes numb, for sure, okay? The moment when it goes numb, you can either see it as one lump numb, or if you watch very closely, you start to actually see pins and needles. Yeah? When you watch it very closely, you start to observe the pins and needles, okay? And if you look at the pins and needles very closely, you realize that between the sensations, there's a blank point. Yes? That's resolution. That's a vision on a physical sensation, a vision of a physical sensation. And that is the increasing sharpness of resolution. The sharper you are, the more things you can see from just your leg, one lump numb. Okay? And the same experience, you can have the exact same experience of the mind, of feelings, of your emotions, of the pain, the emotional pain. The same sensation. You can see it as one lump of grief, so heavy you kind of fall backward and get crushed by the weight of the grief. Or you can see the grief as a series of ups and down feelings. One after another, series of them. And when you see it as a series, and you look at the grief very closely, you may find that each little puzzle of ups and downs are feeling like little dots. They come and they go very fast. Sensations very fast. And when you feel it that way, if you see it to that kind of resolution, then it's easy not to be so caught up with feelings. You get caught up with the Pink Panther. You don't get caught up with the little strokes and the resolution and the dots. You see what I'm saying? You get caught up with a big picture. Mona Lisa presented to you in a full page thing. Nice. Okay lah. Mona Lisa not very nice. So you're gonna, I prefer landscape. Because landscape painting, oh very nice. 山水画很美. Okay? But if you look very close, right, all you see is just the dots. How to be very caught up with the dots?
Very nice dots.
Round dots, long dots. You see what I'm saying? So it's in the same way you think of yourself watching television, right? You're watching television. If you go really close, all you see is just dots. You go blind lah, but you see dots. It's only when you go very far away that you, oh, I like this show, you know, I like this person. But if you go very close, right, all you see is just dots. Blackheads lah. High resolution these days, what? Super HD. So this thing about endowed with vision has to do with you seeing, literally, with clarity, the Dhamma concepts. Dhamma are no longer, all the Dhamma concepts are no longer just thoughts and understanding of just words. Words that you understand. These become experience that you can see. In the same way that you can see how your leg cramp could be a whole mess of sensation or a series of running, changing sensations. And you can see it. If you cannot see it, my advice to you is don't move. You don't move until your leg go to sleep. Okay? Also watch how your mind construct. Mind-made are they. When I first started out meditation, okay, of course my leg went to sleep very fast. I had vision of legs dropping off. Die, man. I know why the pain is there. Because the artery got cut off. So it's not flowing, you know, it's not flowing. And if it's not flowing, at some point the leg will drop off. And this is a bad idea. Then I shifted, lor. Huh? I agree, man. I agree. So the point is that these sensations of the form you can see. The sensations of the mind also you can see. But one is easier than the other. The form is easier to see, which is why when you go on your meditation retreat, they kept telling you don't move, because they really want you to look at the series of anicca sensations in the form, because it's easiest for you to see. But instead we think that they're torturing us lah. Just evil fellas, just wanting you to feel pain, you know, pain. You can bear pain. The more you can bear pain, the better you are as a practitioner. No lah. No, I just want you to see. You see already, you can move wherever you want. Okay? To see two things, by the way, if you go for meditation retreat and you're asked to bear the pain, right? It's actually to see two things. One is to see the nature of change in the form, because you have to see for yourself change. That's one. The second one is to see how the mind doesn't want, crave to be free of the pain. So the mind craving to be free of the pain is dukkha. The mind's craving is dukkha, emotional pain. It's for you to see the first noble truth and the second noble truth together. Then the point when you realize that actually, if you are able to just let the pain be, you feel better, feel a bit better, the third noble truth you see. So in the meditation retreat, if you get to a point when you see the pain, the holding on is painful, the one thing is painful, the part where you say it's okay, then not so painful anymore, that's the relief. When you see that, oh, congratulations, this sitting has been successful. Somewhat. Well, there are many things to see, many other things to see. Okay? If you're able to let go, give up, and so on and so forth, and you reach a point where you remove desire for sensual pleasure. This is not anagami, by the way. This chap, Mettā meditation, what the Buddha is implying here is that if you do the Mettā meditation correctly and well, you can get to anagami. You let go of views, don't hold on to things. You're no longer caught up with sensual delights. You let the sensual delights go. One comes never again to birth in the womb. They are anagami. Okay? So that's your Karaniya Mettā Sutta.